Alright guys, hello and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. So we are going to do the next main quest right now, Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. The fate of Empress Celine, and in turn all of Orlais has been threatened. The Inquisition must intervene. Now this quest in particular is very precise. There's an achievement in this game for getting a 100% approval rating from the court, and in order for you to get 100% approval rating, you have to be on your toes, especially during the parts where you have to, where you're supposed to be running around and finding evidence and whatnot. I'm gonna go through everything, and we are gonna get 100%. I have gotten 100% on this quest. So, without further ado, I will explain everything once we get into the actual area. Because there's a lot of things you have to be wary about, and it'll be easier for me to explain when you can actually see it. So, recommended levels 12 to 15. We kind of overkill. We're like 18, but whatever. You should do Adamant Fortress after this, which I kind of did backwards, I guess, because that's the way I did on my normal playthrough. And yeah, anyways, an assassin is stalking the Empress. Celine's death would plunge Orlais into chaos, leaving it an easy target for Corypheus. At the Winter Palace of Halam Sharal, Celine is holding peace talks with her rebellious cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard, under the guise of a grand ball. Every noble in the Empire will attend, making it the perfect place and time for Corypheus's assassin to strike. We can arrange an invitation to attend, to keep him from destroying Orlais, if we hurry.
We have to reach the Empress before Corypheus. The only question is, how?
We know how. I have our way in. The real question is, where is our enemy hiding? At the urging of Grand Duchess Florian, the Empress is holding a ball. Absolutely everyone will be there. During the festivities, Celine will be meeting for peace talks with the usurper Duke Gaspard and Ambassador Briala.
The assassin must be hiding within one of these factions.
What do we know about Duke Gaspard?
The man who would have been Emperor. He's Celine's cousin, and was first in line to inherit the throne when Emperor Florian died. Celine outmaneuvered him. She won over the Council of Heralds, who hold authority over title disputes. She became Empress, and he a general in the Imperial Army. He's well loved by the troops. He's also a Chevalier. Most of their number sided with him when he turned on the Empress.
Aren't the Chevaliers part of the army? Why would they follow the Duke?
Most Chevaliers are sworn to serve the crown, but that does not give them faith in the person wearing it. The Empress has tried to improve relations with Ferelden and Navarra. The Chevaliers see her as anti-military. They believe Gaspard could lead the Empire back to the glory of Draken's expansion years.
Who is this Ambassador Briala?
An ambassador in name only, she has organized the elves of Halam Sharal into an underground army. The Empress invited her to the peace talks in a bid to gain the elves' alliance in the war. That would be scandal enough, without the rumor that Briala is a jilted lover of Celine's. A personal grudge and a network of saboteurs at her command. Promising lead.
Wait, the elven leader is a jilted lover of the Empress.
It's not widely known. Just a rumor whispered among the palace servants a few years ago. If it's true and were to get out, the Empress and an elf. The scandal could destroy Celine's court. Even if a lie, Briala could use it to blackmail the Empress. She has some connection to the throne.
Tell me everything we know about the Empress.
Empress Celine is a renowned diplomat and reformer. She works tirelessly to secure peace for the Empire. Unfortunately, many Orlesians view peace as complacency. She has yet to name an heir, leaving the future of the Empire in doubt if anything happens to her. Especially when the next in line is her cousin Gaspard, who's made few friends on the Council of Heralds.
Celine is surrounded at all times by countless guards, courtiers, servants, and vassals. What better place for an assassin to hide than the Empress's own household?
How can Gaspard still be next in line while he wages war against his Empress?
The title Grand Duke indicates that he was a prince before the Empress took the throne.
Do we need to go to the peace talks? The Empress must have personal guards. We could just warn her she's in danger.
We've made the attempt, but
It seems that our messages never reached her. Someone intercepted them.
It's better that we don't leave this to chance. If Orlais falls to Corypheus, no land is safe.
We shouldn't waste any time. Let's go to the Winter Palace.
Okay. So, Origin, or not Origin, Dragon Age is actually doing maintenance. It actually said before I signed on. So, anyways, that has nothing to do with anything. So, let us attend the Winter Palace, shall we? This quest is pretty fun. Like, it's pretty unusual because you don't really, like in the first two games, you never really played the game per se. Now, I would bring Solus here, but Vivienne isn't my choice here. She is, after all, familiar with politics and the game. Yeah, so the game is basically politicals, politics. You know, I don't know. It's all that political shit. People are trying to kill other people for land, and rumors get started. All that
The
shit.
political situation in Halam Shiral hangs by a thread. The Empress fears our presence could sever it. The Grand Duke is only too happy to have us at the ball as his guests, so our invitation comes from him. Whether we act as his allies or upset the balance of power, he gains an opportunity, if not a clear advantage.
It is a great pleasure to meet you, Inquisitor Lavellen. The rumors coming out of the Western Approach say you battled an army of demons. Imagine what the Inquisition could accomplish with the full support of the rightful Emperor of Orlais.
I can see many benefits to such an alliance.
Keep the image firmly in mind. We may see it materialize by the end of the evening. I am not a man who forgets his friends, Inquisitor. You help me, I'll help you. Prepared to shock the Assembly by appearing as the guest of a hateful usurper, my lord? They will be telling stories of this into the next age.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Duke Gaspard. I look forward to ending this civil war.
As do I, my friend. The Empire needs stability and security, now more than ever. If you have the safety of the Orlesian people at heart, Inquisitor, perhaps you will look into something for me. This elven woman, Briala, I suspect that she intends to disrupt the negotiations. My people have found these ambassadors all over the fortifications. Sabotage seems the least of their crimes.
That sounds like something I should look into.
Be as discreet as possible. I detest the game, but if we do not play it well, our enemies will make us look like villains. We're keeping the court waiting, Inquisitor. Shall we?
Is that the Inquisitor? An elf savage!
Okay. So, if you haven't noticed... Nope. So explains right. Court approval. Orlesian nobility looks down on elves. The court eye watches you with a critical eye. So, we lose 10% court approval because we're not human. If you are not human, such as elf or Kunari, you lose court approval. If you're human, you start off at 40 default. So, anyways. So welcome to the Winter Palace. I'm gonna make a hard save as soon as my quick save ends. There you go. I'm gonna be working on using hard saves a lot during this quest. So we're in the, I guess this would be called the Palace Gardens. Now I'm gonna be skipping, well not skipping, I'm gonna be cutting the video between acts. And the way I'm gonna do acts is part 1 or act 1 is gonna be the garden. Act 2 is going to be the first time you go to the ballroom and the first time you get to explore inside the Winter Palace. Part 3 will probably be when you first get to fight. And there might be more than one part. We'll see. We'll see how I break it up. And eventually, once we talk to Celine and end the Civil War. That'll be the final part. Anyways, you want to gain court approval, and there's an achievement for getting 100% court approval. We will be getting it this video, so don't you mind. So, one thing to note. You want to be playing the game. And no, I do not mean Dragon Age. I mean, you want to be, you know, you want to have a positive image on everyone attending the Winter Palace. That means don't jump on furniture when you're talking to people. Do not talk about why you're here. You just want to talk to them, you know, kind of rile them up, be positive and whatnot.
Something here. Better take a
You don't want to, you know, just basically, like, how do you even explain this? Don't be a jerk,
You
is all.
there! Rabbit! Have you seen a ring anywhere? It was a gift from the Countess Montbelliard, enchanted by the Fomari. I cannot go into the ball without it.
Is this ring particularly valuable?
Its worth in coin is not as important as its social value. It was a gift from a member of the council.
So one thing to remember is never question somebody's motives. Always side with them if they have a side in an argument. You wanna make it seem like you're on their side, even if you solely disagree. You wanna, you know, just be a yes man.
That's a terrible predicament.
If the Countess finds out, make her have mercy. Should you happen upon it, I beg you, let me know.
Alright, so one thing I should mention also, and let me pause it here. I don't know if it starts in the garden or if it starts when you go inside the palace, but every second that counts down, you're losing approval. Now, I don't think you lose approval in the garden. I don't think you do. But one thing to note is when you're in areas where you shouldn't be, you lose approval 2 times as fast. So, court approval, you just gain court approval, which is usually the result of finesse, entertaining people, or keeping up appearances. That's a lot easier way to explain it, I guess. The higher court approval is the better. The higher court approval, the better.
You are a treasure. I cannot believe you found it. You have saved me a lifetime of mortification. How can I thank you enough?
Alright, so that's the only thing for the palace garden. Other than that, you can just look around and search the area. As I said, do not jump on anything. No benches, no tables. You want to keep up your appearances, because you are the Inquisitor. I recommend just unbinding spacebar or jump. Okay, so there's a couple things you can do in the palace gardens. I actually recommend quick saving if you talk to any nobles, because the way you respond to them affects if you gain approval or if you lose approval. So one example here is this door. Requires storage key. Oh, it's not this door. There's a door here that requires you to get a halal statue. I think it's down here. It might be this side. Unlock the eastern storage statuettes required. Yeah, so you need more hala statues, not halal. The hell? It's just a statue of a jihad terrorist with an RPG. That's race. Okay, I'm done. So we have a first statue right here. Now there's 10. One thing I am gonna say though, there's a number of ways to get court approval that I'll go over once we start picking up objects. Just like golden, you can throw coins into a fountain. You can open up the hala doors. There's a lot of things to get court approval, and there's a lot of like treasures. Like if you bring Sarah, she'll mention stashes. That I think it's Briala's like assassins or whoever. They leave little stashes around you can loot. Yeah, there's like little collectibles in this quest. you don't need all the collectibles at all, to be honest, to get 100% court approval. But you know.
Foreigners.
Alright, so here's a little tutorial. Find a safe spot to eavesdrop on a noble conversation. There should be an eavesdrop right here. I think it's right here. Should be right here. Oh, right here. Never mind.
Any word from the front lines?
My spies said the bodies were beyond counting.
Surely the Empress will put an end to the war tonight.
Pray, my friend. If the Maker does not hear us now, just pray.
Okay. So that's a little a tutorial there. It'll tell you that you can use eavesdropping as a way to find out information during the quest. Now over here should be the storage key. There it is. And look at what do we know? There's a bow and arrow here, and some liquor. Assassins are getting down, man. Okay. Let's head to the storage. To be quite honest, if you're as high leveled as I am, I think I'm like level 18. Yeah, 18. A lot of the gear in this quest is not going to be useful. Because, well, if you're like me, you're pretty much over geared. So, you do get schematics though, so I do recommend looking for schematics. Secret correspondence. Yep, 1 of 30 scandalous secrets. The more scandalous secrets you get, the easier it is for you to get court approval. And caprice coins. That's another way to get court approval. There'll be a little water fountain inside the Winter's Palace that you can throw coins into to get court approval. I do recommend looting the place, especially when you are in unrestricted areas, because this is the one quest in the game where I actually got a ton of tier 3 schematics, so you definitely want to look around, especially when you get to the vault. Especially when you get to the vault. And in my experience, most of the Hala doors don't really have good loot. Well, let's see, it's pretty much RNG. Yeah, I can sell it. I know one of these has a grenade, I think. Penetration, what the hell? I'll leave this here. I don't want it. Alright, so let's head inside. I'll end the video once we get inside. This is just the palace gardens. I don't even know what I'm saving here. Alright, let's head inside. So that's it for the gardens.
Inquisitor, a moment, if you please. I must warn you before you go inside. How you speak to the court is a matter of life and death. It is no simple matter of etiquette and protocol. Every word, every gesture is measured and evaluated for weakness.
I'll keep my guard up. Don't worry.
The game is like wicked grace played to the death. You must never reveal your cards. When you meet the Empress, the eyes of the entire court will be upon you. You are safer in the Fade with the Fear Demon.
Might be a good idea for the others to hear this warning. Cassandra is usually not the subtle or cautious type.
I'll have a few discreet words. Everything will be fine.
It's so funny. We're like, if you bring Sarah, they mentioned her instead of Cassandra, because you know how Sarah is. She hates nobles. She thinks they're all stuck up. She just wants to kick them in the balls and steal their shit. Okay, so the garden, the only court approval that you can get from the garden is the ring. So, yeah. Anyways, we're going to end it here. Next part will be the ballroom, and then we'll continue with the inside the Winter's Palace. So I'll see you guys then.